Okay, it's 6:30. At this time, I'd like to call the Administrative Services Committee meeting for March 1st to order. Please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino.
Here.
Counselor McBroody. Excused.
Excused.
Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Plunkett.
Here.
Counselor Burge.
Here. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the February 16th, 2021 committee meeting. Counselor Plunkett, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Is there any old business? Seeing none. Item 1, under new business. Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests Common Council consideration of proposal to adjust the City of Oswego flat rate and meter rate for water and sewer service. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. So this is building on our progress that we made in 2019. If we remember back to well, first let me take you all the way back to December of 2015 because I enjoy doing this so much. The last meeting of the previous administration had a item off the floor at the last council meeting of the year where they voted to increase the water and sewer bills, I think by $50 a quarter at that time, if my memory serves me. And then if you remember which Councilor Gozick and Cordino are in Walker, we were here the first meeting of our tenure and had a room packed full of residents, blaming us for the increase. And, I think one even pointed out that you're a landlord, sir, and, maybe you shouldn't be voting on things like that or whatever. So that was kind of our welcome to city government moment. And I think those increases back in December of 2015, which I voted no on as a councilor, could have been prevented had the administration or city personnel at that time had done what we've done the last 5-6 years. So, and some of what we've done the last 5-6 years include investing about $10 million between our two wastewater facilities. Some of our first actions as mayor and council in 2016 was to authorize the asset management plan for the one wastewater treatment plant. And we did a bunch of studies when we first came into office at the wastewater and water plants to kind of outline a strategy, a smart strategy to invest in the facilities in an orderly process that made sense in a strategic process. We finished the sewer separation project just this last fall. Most of the sewer separation project, I could say, we still have some sewer lining and some minor work to do that I'll get to in the next couple of items. But the bulk of that work is done. The final, for both of the phases that we administered came in ahead of schedule and under budget for each phase, and then the last one here in 2019 was, of course, $300,000 under budget and about a month ahead of schedule. We secured well over $7 million in grant funding from state government through the New York State Clean Water grants and the WIA grants for facility upgrades and infrastructure projects. So some of that funding went to help with the sewer separation project as well. And then we also have some upcoming projects at the water plant. Another item on the agenda tonight is accepting the bid for the backup generator at the water plant. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. So we've done a lot of work, a lot of upfront investment to get us to this point. It's been a lot of hard work. I want to especially thank the Camden Group and Department of Public Works for their work at the two wastewater facilities, the water plant, and for the water and sewer infrastructure throughout the city. So it's been 5 years in the making. We offered the first reduction. It was $200 a year to flat rate users only. In the summer of spring of 2019. And if you remember, we made a deal then to do more for flat rate users, and we wanted to make a real effort to help metered users as well moving forward. I know, 99% of the phone calls and feedback we got from the first reduction in 2019 was positive, but the 1% negative feedback was from folks who had installed a meter and weren't falling under the reduction. So we wanted to make sure to capture both groups this time around. So that's exactly what we're doing. Again, not as big of a reduction, but it covers everybody as opposed to just flat rate users like last time. So The proposed reduction is a $100 annual reduction. That's a $25 reduction per quarter. The current flat rate is $150 sewer plus $75 water. We're proposing a $115 sewer and an $85 water to make it, instead of $225 a quarter, $200 a quarter. So you'll notice we're drastically reducing the sewer bill, but we are actually slightly increasing the water bill, and that is because of the upcoming work to be done at the water plant that we'll get to in the next couple of items. But we need to, just like what we did at the sewer plant, we need to begin investing in the water plant as well. Our focus these first 5 years was really focusing on the two sewer facilities and the sewer infrastructure. So now we need to pivot a bit and invest and replicate what we did in the sewer portion of things in the water. So we're, again, slightly increasing the water fee, but all told, I just want to be clear, it's still a $100 annual reduction even with that increase. We're dropping the sewer enough that it offsets. The current metered rate is $150 sewer plus $55 water. That's $205 a quarter. The proposed is $115 sewer plus $65 water. So again, same thing, drastically reducing sewer, slightly increasing the water. Goes from $205 a quarter to $180 a quarter. I'll take a minute to, again, encourage city residents they should get a meter. The meter base is, of course, cheaper, and if you go beyond that, it only charges you for what you use, so that's the smartest thing to do. Of course, some people are discouraged because of the upfront cost of buying and installing that meter, but that pays for itself in a couple of years, certainly if you're a small user. And then one last part of this proposal is to increase the water rate for folks who are well above base. So in this category, I'm talking car wash, hospital, school, large users who use quite a bit of water, similar to what we did back in 2016. We're increasing that from $1.50 per 1,000 gallons to $2.50 per 1,000 gallons. So it's a $1 increase there. Again, homeowners aren't going to even come close to feeling this portion of the proposal. We're really talking our commercial and industrial users here on this end. It's just another way to raise water revenue, not on the backs of residents, but on the backs of charging folks the appropriate amount who actually use a lot of water. So if you remember back in 2016, we changed the scale. The more water you use, the less you actually paid per gallon or per 1,000 gallons. We changed that, so the more you use, the more you pay per 1,000 gallons, and this just builds on that. So again, and even with that rate, our rates are still competitive to competitors like Aqua and other municipalities. So happy to take any questions, but would like to close by thanking the council for their continued support and investment in the facilities and infrastructure these last 5 years. And dare I say, this may not be the end. I think at least I have 3 more years, and I think there may be another goal. We'll pass this and maybe set another goal to hit in the next couple of years and continue offering financial relief to our residents.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Councilor Walker.
I think it's a great idea, and thank you. I just had one question. Our adjoining towns that are on our sewer and water, are they included too, or how are we doing that?
No, the towns we serve, Oswego Town and Scriba, they are governed by a separate agreement. Now, I'll say both of those agreements are outstanding, and we're working now to get both municipalities to the table. It's been a work in progress with both Scriba and Oswego Town, but we have some leverage now because there are pending projects in both municipalities. So now that there's something in it for them, these projects may have to hook into our infrastructure, and our stance is no new hook-ins until we get an active live contract. Now, in the contracts, there is a built-in 3% raise, so if they don't come to the table, they get that 3% increase, but we prefer to get them here to the table. It's just a matter of there's, at least in one municipality, there's been a changing town board, there's been changing supervisors, and there's really been nobody to negotiate with on their side of things. So You know, I think that's changing now that there's some urgency on their end.
All right, thank you.
And I think the point of your question, the last two contracts we negotiated with the other towns, again, similar to our large users, our outside users were paying less per gallon than in-city users and taxpayers who pay to lay the infrastructure and pay for our facilities. The negotiating we did the first time around changed that, so now they actually pay more. On top of that, there's outside users to outside users. For instance, that housing complex that was controversial back in 16 or 17, whatever, they pay more than anybody. So that's, you know, kind of the trend we try to follow.
All right, very good. Any other comments or questions from the council? Yeah, Councilor Gozick.
Well, I just wanted to say thanks for the history lesson tonight. After all these years, or 5 years being on the council, I mean, it's like a different city. And tip my hat to you, Mayor Barlow, for taking it serious to, you know, be accountable to the people fiscally, because we hadn't seen that in a long time, I would argue, in about 20 years, since someone's actually been accountable to the taxpayers in city government as far as the executive branch of government's concerned. And I think, you know, it really means a lot to people. But, you know, $25 is like gas to get to work and meals for a couple days, you know. People are in bad shape right now. So I know my constituents, the people I know appreciate it. May not seem like a lot, but it is. And I appreciate it, because coming here after all these years, you know, that was one of the biggest complaints was the water and sewer rates. And even coming into office, you know, looking at the consent decree here right on the other side, you know, and I guess even though I wasn't a huge fan of it, the way that the federal government can come in and basically eliminate local autonomy for all practical purposes. We've seen that with the giant corporations, with their cell towers, and we've seen that, unfortunately, with this consent decree. But we're looking at it now, you know, the legacy of leaving the people of Oswego fresh water and cleaner water here. It's really something to be proud of, and doing it in a way that's been accountable to the people. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilor. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor Hill, Councilor Burridge.
Counselor Coordino.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Item number 2, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests authorization to accept 2 alternates included in the previously accepted bid submitted by W.D. Malone Trucking and Excavation Incorporated for the International Pier Stabilization Project. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. When we issued the international pier bid, we issued the base bid, and then we issued, in addition to the base, 2 additional proposals that we wanted to see. The first add-on was what to do with the yacht club building, and we asked for some different scenarios there. And then the second add-on was the price for a turbidity curtain to go around the International Pier during construction. Obviously, W.D. Malone came back well below the other bids for the base bid, and submitted competitive bids for both add-ons. The reason we didn't accept these 2 additional proposals in the first time we came through the council process was because I just didn't have enough information to decide what to do with the yacht club building. And what we wanted to do was try to slow down and take our time with it and actually select a contractor based off the base bid and the guaranteed work that we knew we had to do. And then once we had that assigned contractor, we had a meeting with our engineering staff, DPW staff, our engineering firm, Delta, and the assigned contractor to try to get everybody's perspective on what to do with the building itself. There were some ideas tossed out based on the cost to save the building. Do you demo it and start over with a new building? Do you use this grout option to stabilize the building and infuse it into the sheet piling structure that now will become the new pier? Or do you work on, I don't understand the technical part of it, but shooting through the building and pinning the building to the pier? So there were some different techniques and proposals and ideas there. And before we went ahead and awarded any of the 3 options, I wanted to get everybody's perspective. So this $598,000 option is that grout option. We think it's the best way to preserve the building and minimize the damage and cost. while doing so, so that seemed, all parties agreed that was the best option. And then the second alternate was the $67,000 for the turbidity curtain. There was some back and forth there on whether the city was going to purchase it and provide it to the contractor, if the contractor was going to provide it, purchase it, provide it, and install it. So for that price, they'll purchase it and install it as well.
All right, thank you. Any questions for the mayor on this one from the council? From the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Burge, Counselor Plunkett.
Counselor Coordino.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 3, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests authorization for the city chamberlain to transfer funds from account A 19900460 to A 3600440 in the amount of $5,000 to pay Christofuli Trucking for work completed at 268 West 5th Street and 80 Tallman Street. Mr. Mayor?
This is just really a housekeeping issue. Back in 2016, we had hired Christofoli Trucking to take down 268 West 5th Street, was that big pink house on West 5th Street that Councilor Gozick loves so much. And when they were taking it down, there was a minor bit of damage done to the house next door. I think some of the chimney on 268 actually fell on the house next door and caused a little bit of damage. So fast forward to now, we have held all this time Christofoli Trucking's $5,000 bond while the claim with our insurance company worked itself out, all the paperwork and bureaucratic stuff that goes on there. So finally, that claim is now put to rest, and we can give Christofoli Trucking their $5,000 bond back. However, as you know, the budget resets at the end of every calendar year, so the original $5,000 is long gone, so we just have to come back and get this and give it to code enforcement to reissue that bond, to reimburse them.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the mayor, from the council, public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Hill, Counselor Plunkett.
Before I call the roll, I'd just like to know who's writing the resolution for item 3.
Code enforcement can do
Thank
this.
you. Counselor Coordino.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 4, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. Requests discussion regarding bids received for the sanitary sewer rehabilitation project, third 25%, and combined sewer rehabilitation, fourth 25%, EFC project number C763441908. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. So this is the last bit of work for the sewer separation project. All of the heavy construction from that project is done. The third phase really was the last bit of work. The work left here is really minor. You'll see very isolated pockets of construction. It'll be work tending to a manhole or actually going in and lining the sewer infrastructure in some of these areas. This particular area will see the sewer pipes lined and refortified, minimal open cuts, and just fixing manholes. So this bid comes in a bit under budget, actually. The initial estimate was $1.5 million total, and this bid is for $1.082, and it goes to Kenyon Pipeline Inspection. They were the low bid.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the council?
Location of this work is 1st and 3rd wards.
Any questions from the public? One question, how long will this take, this work?
Going to run the same schedule as the last construction last year, so they'll start this spring, run through summer and into fall, but again, a lot of residents won't really realize this is going on. Be very isolated and in and out in certain areas.
Because obviously, they're not digging up roads, they're just
Yep.
going through manholes and
Yep.
doing the work in the sewers. All right, thank you. Can I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Hill?
Counselor Coordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBurdy.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes.
Item number 5, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests discussion regarding bids received for the sanitary sewer rehabilitation project for Area 3, EFC project number C763441908. 1908. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. This is the same contractor, same type of work, different bid in a different area. This, again, cleaning lines, fortifying the system, fixing manholes, again, minimal open cuts in the road. But this area is actually what we call Area 3, which is the Kingsford Woods, 7th Ward area, Southwest 8th Street, 5th Street. This is a $1.3 million total cost estimate. This one comes in, again, at 1.082. Same contractor, same schedule. I will say, I left this out the last one, but we did win some WIA grant funding back in 2018 or 19 to help cover some of this cost, so that helps, but, you know, really just a continuation of item number 4. And this was, again, for this project, low bid.
All right, any questions for the mayor from the council? From the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor Plunkett, Counselor Hill.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBurdy?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes. Item number 6, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests discussion regarding bids received for a new 2-megawatt generator for the water treatment plant as part of the upgrade project at the plant. Mr. Mayor?
People often ask what keeps me up at night, and what keeps me up at night is the threat of the water plant losing power with no backup power source. Particularly on nights such as this, where there's going to be 60-plus mile-an-hour winds right out at the lake shore where the power plant is. A lot of people may not know this, but when we have weather, particularly ice storms, snowstorms, or long duration of high wind, tonight it looks like it's an overnight thing, but when we have a couple of days of high and sustained winds, we'll actually call New York State to tractor trailer up a backup generator for the water plant just in case power goes out, and the nearest backup generator's in Schenectady. So that is a process that I have to look a few days out, contact the state, get it up here and get it placed and turned on in time should something happen. This was one of the few items that when we first took office, the previous administration warned me about, the other being the fuel tanks at DPW, the backup generator source at the water plant, and also the county health department has been on us to get a backup power source out at the plant as well. So that's what we tried to do. It took a little time because backup generators of this size are extremely expensive. This project, the estimate is about $3 million total. So obviously we couldn't front that back in 16, 17, or 18, so we went out to try to secure some grant money, and that's what we did. This again was part of the award in 2019. We won about $7.5 million in the WIA grant applications, and $1 million of that was for the backup generator to cover the estimated $3 million cost. So we put this out to bid with the help of GHD, and Cummins came back with the low bid, proposed at $923,000. The estimated cost just to buy the generator was about $1 million, so we're slightly under so far. We still have to create the construction documents for the install. GHD is doing that for us. They plan to have those documents created and issued out to bid in June. And our deadline in the project will be an installation completion date of the end of the year. So this is the first step, selecting this low bid, purchasing the generator, and then we'll get to work on installation.
Thank you. Any questions for the mayor from the council? Public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Counselor McBurdy, Counselor Hill.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBurdy?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes. Item number 7, the Code Enforcement Department requests discussion regarding the sole bid submitted by Anthony Pauldine General Contractors Incorporated for miscellaneous services related to code enforcement complaints. Taking this one too, Mayor?
I can take this one. We do this every single year, and this is the work related to code enforcement. So when code enforcement goes around enforcing code, if property owners don't come into compliance within the provided time frame, the city has the authority to send either the city DPW or a hired contractor onto the property to mow the lawn, remove the trash, or do really any other sort of work that's provided in the violation report and remains outstanding. So every year we put the work out to bid to hire a contractor to do this work for us. DPW does supplement our work a little bit, but as we continue to create more parks and make things a little better throughout the community, some of their time and energy spent doing that, particularly this year with the International Pier and Wrights Landing project. So we put this bid out through Onondaga County. We do request that the contractor is within a 25-mile radius of the city of Oswego and is available to the Director of Code Enforcement 24/7. So when he calls whoever the contractor is that's awarded, they have to be ready and available to respond to his calls 24/7, and I think it's either within 1 hour or 2 hours of the call going in. That rarely happens because there's time given to folks, and generally they can see if the person's working towards compliance or not, but occasionally those last-minute calls do come in, so that's important. Paul Dean, general contractor, was the one and only bidder. So obviously they're the low bidder, and you see their lump sum proposal in your packet spells out the hourly charge for all the services that they provide on a regular basis.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? Yes, Councilmember Birdie.
I just had a quick question. I couldn't find the proposal from 2020. How did his rates compare?
They really haven't deviated much. There was a small increase in lawn care and debris removal, but I don't have the exact dollar figures on hand, but it really was a very small increase. And I should note that this cost is not something the city pays. It's actually levied on the tax bill to the property owner in violation.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the council, from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor Burridge. Councilor Plunkett.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBurney.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Burridge.
Yes. Item number 8, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests discussion regarding the purchase of a Belgian, how do you say that? Malinois? Police canine. Your turn. One last time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We currently have 2 dogs as part of the police department in service. However, the first dog is a relatively new dog. His name's Luke. He's our bomb-sniffing explosive dog. And then I think you've all met our other dog, who's our drug-sniffing dog, and that's Crixus. A couple weeks ago, you voted on a resolution to give Crixus to his handler, who's the police officer who's handled him for many years because he's retiring. The average service life for a police dog is 5 to 6 years of service. Crixus is 9, so he's definitely had a life full of service and has done a great job and is well beyond his expected service life. So he will run off into retirement, but we still would like to get a drug dog. So you'll see here it's about $6,500 to purchase the dog, and it's about another $12,000 for training and the lodging and everything that goes with the administrative services to train the dog. We are looking to purchase this and get him trained and in service this fall. And one side note, we're actually ahead of the curve here because as marijuana is decriminalized and perhaps in the near future legalized, drug dogs can no longer hit on marijuana. So any drug dog trained to hit on marijuana now has to be retired.
Thank you. Any questions from the council or the public on this one? Can I have a motion, please? Counselor Hill, Counselor McBurney.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBurney?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes. I believe that was the last item for this committee. Is there any other issues I should be aware of? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn? Counselor McBurney, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Counselor McBurney?
Yes.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee meeting for March 1st, 2021 to order. Please call the roll.
Counselor Hill?
Here.
Counselor Burridge?
Here.
Counselor Walker?
Here.
Counselor Gozick?
Here.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of our February 16th, 2021 meeting? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Any old business to come before this committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business under communication. Item number 1, Thomas Kells, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, has received a request from Corey Donovan and Kay Pullen to donate a bench in honor of Roger Pullen with preferred placement outside the East Side Fire Department. Is there anyone here to speak to this? I just know that Roger's been active as a volunteer with the fire department, and I know they just want to honor that, so I think this is a great request. Any comments or questions?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion from Counselor Walker, a second. Counselor Gozick?
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Walker, Counselor Burridge?
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
I'd like to call the Planning and Development Committee to order for March 1st, 2021.
Counselor Walker?
Here.
Counselor McBurney?
Here.
Counselor Cordino?
Here.
Is there any old business? Seeing none. Could I have minutes approved for the committee held October 19th, 2020? Counselor Cordino, Counselor McBurney.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor McBurney?
Yes.
Counselor Cordino?
Yes.
Okay, so now we'll go down to new business. Mayor William J. Barlow seeks approval of the Common Council and amending provisions of Chapter 224 in the City Code. Mr. Barlow?
This is adding to our water and sewer bill reduction. This is really correcting a mistake that was made back in early 2019. Because we're adjusting the sewer and water rates now, it only makes sense to do this to correct this at the same time. The city has a local law and exemption available to low-income individuals who live in the city. There's a tax exemption, and then there's a reduction of water rents exemption. And back in 2019, we went to change the income thresholds and amount of exemption because before 2019, the last time it was adjusted was 1995. So our intention was to recalibrate the income level and exemption level to reflect income generated in 2019. So previously, the income level was 17,500 or less, and would be granted a 75% reduction of water rate or a 50% tax exemption. We raised that to 22,500, and then every threshold from 22.5 to 29 was altered. Before, I believe it stopped at 24,999, and we actually expanded it to 30,500. So we recalibrated all the way down, which was the right thing to do and helped some people, capture more people, and our attempt was to give people a larger break. And we did that on the tax side. We did that on the tax side because the percent exempt was, back in 1995, 50 to 10. However, on the water side, back then it was 75 to 35. So when we did that change in 2019, we increased the income and recalibrated the income for both tax and water. But we wanted to make the schedule of exemption the same. So instead of 75 to 35 on water, we matched the tax and went 50 to 10. And what we inadvertently did is reduced the exemption percentage for all the brackets, but it had the biggest negative impact on the lower income brackets. So I don't think any of us realized we did it for quite some time. Fast forward to, I think, later last year, 2020, I think is when it first made its way to me, that this was having a negative impact, and some of the lower income brackets saw a $30 to $40 increase in their water bill because even though the income increased and covered more people, the exemption was smaller, and their bill was, they were charged more because they had a smaller exemption. So this is going to do what we originally wanted to do, and that is to raise the income, capture more people, and now we will undo what we did on the percentage of exemption for the water, so that we offer those making less money a bigger break, and then as you make more money, your break goes down. So again, $22,500 annual income or less now gets a 75% exemption as opposed to 50. That brings us back to the level of exemption back in 1995. And then it goes up all the way to $30,500. People making between $29,500 and $30,500 have a 35% exemption. Last point is the water and sewer bill reduction will take effect on April 1st. So you'll see your bills after April 1st reflect that reduction. This, because it runs concurrent with the tax calendar, won't take effect until July 1st, 2021.
Very good. Any questions, concerns?
Good catch.
Seeing none, can I get a motion, please? Counselor McBurney, Counselor Cordino.
Counselor Walker,
Yes.
Counselor McBurney,
Yes.
Counselor Cordino,
Yes.
Okay, item number 2, Counselor McBurney on behalf of Mercedes Nice requests discussion regarding a variance of noise ordinance to allow bands to play live music for the Maritime Music Night on Sunday, August 15th, 2021, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I see Mrs. Mercedes Nice is here. Would you like to speak on that?
Sure.
Please.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back in the building. Well, we decided with everything with COVID, we were able to do a lot of outdoor things, so we were able to still provide activities and things to do last summer. So we wanted to expand outdoor activities, and so we are going to host 2 bands, Double V and PK Kunzweiler, for a couple hours on a Sunday evening, and to enjoy the sunset and all that kind of thing out on the West Pier. So it's our first night. We expect maybe 60 to maybe 100 people at the most. We will be having Coloca Winery come in. We will not be serving wine, but we will have those folks there. We are looking at a brewery as well. And we'll have a food truck, and Girl Scouts are serving some awesome desserts. So we look for it to be a nice evening. It will be a controlled event, because we're not looking for a Harbor Fest kind of thing. It's going to be cool and quiet, or quieter, with, you know, soft rock and all that. And so this is a new venture for us. I mean, we've had music down there when we've had a big festival, but this is just a smaller, more personal type of thing. I do want to mention that we did decide to go from 6:30 to 8:30 as opposed to 6 to 8, so hopefully that won't be a problem.
I think that's probably better off for your sunset.
Right.
I was thinking-
It's exactly, we
That's what I
looked
was
up the
thinking there.
time and we said,
About 9
hey.
o'clock. So, very good. I think it's a good idea. And would anybody have any questions, concerns? Yeah, is everybody all invited?
Absolutely. I will tell you, it's going to be $15 a ticket, so it's pretty nominal. But we're really hoping to get some new people to come down and check us out and see what we're all about. So, yeah, you're absolutely all invited.
There you go. Well, thank you. So, I see no questions, concerns. Could I get a motion, please? Counselor McBurney, Counselor Cordino.
Counselor Walker,
Yes.
Counselor McBurney,
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Okay, is there any
Thank
more new
you.
business? Seeing none, could I get a motion to adjourn the committee? Counselor McBurney, Counselor Cordino.
Counselor Walker,
Yes.
Counselor McBurney,
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good evening.